well, getting up at sunrise didn't happen, but maybe that's a good thing, because I have been up less than an hour, and today is not my day. You know those days where you get up and this seemingly comedic series of events just keeps happening? That's been my morning. I've been up about 40 minutes. Panda, poor boy. He's part of today not being my day. So, to start off with, I was getting dressed. Got out of bed, felt great, got dressed. Bent down to grab my pajamas. Instant back pain again. It's like, well, I shouldn't have said this. I was like, well, today's gonna be that kind of day, isn't it? I totally jinxed it, because from there on out, it just got more comedic. I went to go grab a pair of pants out of my closet, and all the clothes fell down with it. So that was fun. Picked all that up, went to go find the clean pair of socks that just got washed, found out the cat threw up on them. Okay, fine, I'll wear this mismatched pair of socks. Go to take Panda outside. Everything's like, alright, everything's getting better now. Well, one, my poor dog has a swollen muzzle now, because he was kind of an idiot and decided to stick his face into a pile of fire ants. And let's just say that didn't end very well for him. Poor buddy, you're okay. You're okay. And it didn't end very well for me either, because we have this indoor area, like, because there's 4 apartments to a unit, so outside, because we're an upstairs apartment, there's stairs and a little area that leads to the 2 downstairs apartments and a door that leads outside. Well, Panda decided he was gonna throw up right after I get through that door, not into our apartment, but in the communal area. So then I had to go and throw up from the stairs. Hoping that no one walked in or out of their apartments. And that's been my morning. So, I was gonna say it can only get better from here, but I probably shouldn't say that, because then it'll just jinx it even more. So, it can't, you know, maybe it'll be alright. But anyway, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Besides poor Panda with his swollen muzzle, I feel bad for him. But besides that, it's just kind of funny. It's like a series of unfortunate events this morning. But besides that, I am getting ready to make some coffee and hop on my treatment. I really want to try and work on my book some more today. I haven't picked it up in a couple of months. It's a book I'm writing on my CF story and my best friend Brooke's CF story, who passed away last year. And it's kind of hard for me to write that without getting super emotional, because I'm writing at the moment like how we first met and the circumstances of meeting, which was just crazy. And let me preface this by saying, like, in case some of you don't know, CFers, it was all like FaceTime and like internet communication, because we can't meet in person. But anyway, so it gets kind of emotional for me, but I'm gonna try and pick it up. I'll explain more about this in a little while, but my camera's flashing that it's about to die and I don't want this clip to randomly cut off. So I'll talk more about my book in a little bit once I'm done with my morning stuff, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hope you guys are having a better morning than mine. Okay, so it's a couple hours later, camera's charged, and I'm actually about to pull out my book, and I don't know how much I'll get done on it. It could be like 100 words, it could be 1,000 words, I don't know. But what I was saying earlier is, unlike the book I wrote for NaNoWriMo back in 2017, which was fiction, and I was actually writing it with Brooke, like Brooke was doing her own book at that point, and we were kind of, you know, writing with each other, and it was a lot of fun. This book is emotionally heavy for me, because not only am I delving into the hard parts of my CF journey, but I'm delving into her CF journey, and obviously right now I'm writing about the happier times, I'm writing about how we just met, but it brings up a lot of emotions, and I know that I'm eventually going to get to a part that I really don't want to relive and write about, but I feel like it's important to, because before she passed, she was actually starting a book on her CF story, and so in a way I'm continuing that for her and putting it together. And I've talked with her family about writing this book, and they like the idea, but it's not something that I can do fast. It's not like NaNoWriMo where I can write it in 30 days. It's something that I have to write and take a step back, and write and take a step back. So I don't think I've actually opened this since the spring. Maybe March or April was the last time I opened the file. And I think I have maybe 4,000, 5,000 words in there. Like, there's not much in there right now. But it's just, so I started this book almost a year ago actually, because I started it last September, wrote a little bit, then I picked it back up again in November, wrote a little bit, and then I picked it back up in the spring, wrote a little bit, and now I'm picking it back up again. And sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's like, I think last time I wrote, I got like 2,000 words down and was just typing away. And sometimes I can get like 50 words done. And you would think it would be easier than writing fiction because I'm writing my life and I know what happened, but there's also the balance of I can't write everything about my life, and it's a little bit harder too because it's not just my CF story, but I'm writing about the human side of CF. I titled the book Breathing Roses, the Human Side of CF, and so I'm trying to show the the side of CF that people don't see a lot and don't talk about a lot. Like I talk about in my opening chapter, like I don't think about the hospital stays as this medication, this is physically what I was doing. I think about it as watching New Year's ring in from the hospital bed and wishing I was home. I think about it as some good times I've had in the hospital. I think about CF in different terms than just the physical side, and so that's what I'm trying to portray in this book. But so we'll see how much I get done, and it's probably going to stir up some emotions, but I want to write it and I want to finish it. It's just kind of that thing where it's just take it slow and steady and write a little here, write a little there, and over months and even a year's time just slowly put it together. Well guys, I ended up writing about 500, 600 words. I probably could have written more. It wasn't like I needed to stop because I knew where I was going next, but I also had been writing for about an hour and feeling a little bit like I was rushing through the words, and I don't want to do that. I want to not rush through this book, so stopped there. Sometimes it's really hard too. I have to rack my brain. Like right now, I'm writing about 2016, like the beginning of 2016, because I picked up my book. I started it from November of 2014, really just quickly skimmed through the struggles I had there. If you don't know, in 2014, my lung function was like 30% before basically Orkambi saved my life. So I was skimming through what happened there, and then kind of skipped over most of 2015 and to the end of it, explained, you know, meeting Brooke and starting Orkambi, and now I just started 2016. I'm in like chapter 5. So sometimes it's really hard. Like, yes, that was 3 years ago, but it's really hard to, like, some of the things I can write about easily. Graduation, starting and having to leave college. Ironically, actually, I had a dream last night. I was back at Cedarville, and it was pretty good. It was kind of nice. Maybe a little bit sad, I think, because I was watching some of my college vlogs last night. But anyway, and going on my graduation cruise. And then there's things that are harder to write about, like, not so much from the emotional side, but just from the side of it as, like, I'm trying to explain in this book how close I was with Brooke. But it's hard to do that because most of it was just talking, FaceTiming. You know, I was explaining how it was nice to have that connection with another CFer, which thankfully I still do have right now, but they just get it. You know, you don't have to explain things. But there's like a lot of what I remember in great detail with her is the end of 2017 when I had my reaction and she helped me, and then the 6 horrible months that followed with her health. And that is what sticks out in my mind like a sore thumb, and that's what I remember most, you know, mostly. And so there's these moments, I mean, the whole year, the end of 2015, the whole year of 2016, almost the whole, like, beginning of half 2017, I remember, you know, amazing friendship, but it's hard to put that into words in the book. It's hard to, you know, I just remember silly jokes and random FaceTimes, and it's hard to portray that in the book when I'm trying to write about that, because I don't remember the exact words we said on FaceTime or the text that we had. So I try to portray it, but it's hard. It's hard to just rack my mind on 2016 as well, because I don't remember half of that year. I mean, that was 3 years ago. So I remember the big events, but I don't remember most of 2016. So I'm gonna stop here because yeah, I just have to probably do a little research, go back in my Facebook memories, go back on my vlogs, write out some notes for 2016 on a piece of paper, and then go back and write about 2016, because it's hard to think about it while trying to write about it. This vlog has been in one spot all day, hasn't it? Pretty sure it has. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodnight. It's about 5 o'clock. I just talked to my sister for about 20 minutes, and I'm planning on going for a run around 7:30, somewhere around there. And so I'm gonna go ahead and upload this now, because the rest of my day is just going to be sitting here, waiting for 7 o'clock, running, taking a shower, and sitting here. So there's not much more to vlog. Panda's doing a little bit better. His muzzle swelling is going down a bit. I felt bad for him. The only time that really scared me with him was when he was like still a puppy and he got bit by a snake on his throat, and we had to like rush into the vet. So that dog gets into everything. Bees, wasps, fire ants, snakes. He's gotten into it all. So he's a troublemaker, but he's doing better. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up today's vlog here. But before I do, I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on kind of something that's been going on behind the scenes that I don't talk about a whole lot on here, but since I already kind of brought the topic up talking about my book today, that is that the second year of grief. And I've been feeling that a lot more lately within the past week or two than I had before. But it's basically just like, well, and it's also been a month now since Blaze died, so that complicates things. I was talking to my sister about Blaze. If you guys don't know, that Blaze was the horse that broke his leg and we had to put him down. But anyway, so the past couple of nights have been like pretty intense grief. And the point of me saying that is saying that sometimes from the standpoint of my vlogs and the standpoint of other people's lives and whatever, you may not visibly, in the second year and sometimes in the latter half of the first year, you may not visibly see the grief on them anymore. I'm not going around crying, I'm not going around moping, I'm not going around curling into the fetal position anymore, but the grief is still there. And I don't think it ever really goes away. I think you learn to live with it. And then I saw this thing where it says like the waves, they come and go, they ebb and flow, you know. So that's kind of just, I don't know what I'm saying with that, but saying that basically if you have a loss that happened however many years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, you know, I think that grief is still always there. And I think that's what I was saying with the book. It's hard to touch on it sometimes because, especially right now, with me still grieving Blaze, because when I grieve Blaze, I grieve Brooke, because I wish she could have been there to help me through that. So, so yeah, I've kind of been going through that second year slump lately, with grief, and, but a lot of things help me, you know, just to push through that, like my running. I'm so focused on this 5K, Panda, and just looking forward to going to North Carolina, you know, all the good things. And I'm not saying I'm sitting here moping and sad all the time. I'm happy. I think it's actually when nighttime hits that it hits me. But yeah, the point of that is that sometimes you may not see that somebody is grieving, but it's still there sometimes. So anyway, I guess today's vlog ended up being kind of heavy-hearted. I didn't intend for it to be that way, but I guess that was it. But I think I'm already approaching like 12 minutes at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you guys so much for coming along on my day today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.